this problem says to use the box method to distribute and simplify. So here we have a polynomial. We have a binomial times a binomial. So a polynomial with 2 terms multiplied by a polynomial with 2 terms as well. And we want to multiply them. So here it says use the box method. I'm going to show you the box method, but first I'm going to just show you the way that we learned before, which was just using the distributive property. Just taking everything on the inside of the first polynomial, the first thing on the inside of the first binomial and multiplying it by everything in the second binomial, and then taking the second term of the first binomial and multiplying it by everything in the second binomial. Sorry, getting tongue-tied. Okay, so if we were to do that, we would have x times x, which is x squared, and then we would x times 4, which is 4x, and then taking that 2, that second term, and distributing it to the second binomial, we would have 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times 4, which is 8. And then if we simplify like terms, 4x plus 2x is 6x, so we should end up with a final equation of x squared plus 6x plus 8. Okay? So that should be our final answer. And we're going to take a look, and we're going to look at this box method here. So the box method is a strategy to multiply. It works oftentimes. It doesn't always work. But since we have a binomial by a binomial, we're going to make a 2 by 2 box. So we're going to make a box that looks like this. It's 2 rows and 2 columns. And we're going to write each of our terms for each of our polynomials on the top and on the side. So x plus 2, we have x plus 2, and then x plus 4. Right? And then you're going to think of this kind of like a multiplications table. So I'm going to kind of multiply these 2 things will go in this box, right? X times x will go in this box. 2 times 4 would go in this box, right? So just like your multiplications table. So if we do that, we get, in this box we have x times x, which is x squared. Here we would have positive 2 times x, which is 2x. Here in this bottom left-hand corner, we would have x times 4, which is positive 4x. And here we would have positive 2 times positive 4, which is 8, positive 8. So here, if we just take these and rewrite these in standard form from highest degree to lowest degree, we have x squared, we have positive 2x, we have positive 4x, and we have positive 8. We have exactly what we ended up with up here, right? And if we combine those like terms again, 2x plus 4x is 6x, we end up with the same equation. So these 2 equations are the same. So you can use the distributive property if you're comfortable with that. You can also take a look at this box method. I'm going to do one more example without the distributive property. I'm just going to use the box method here. Again, this is a binomial times a binomial. Here we have some negatives, but because it's a binomial times a binomial, we're going to make a 2 by 2 box. We're going to write each of our terms on the top, and then each of our terms on the left. So our first term in our first binomial is negative 4x minus 5, and then our second binomial is 3x plus 1. Okay, and it's important to write the plus because we want to keep this minus with here because it's really a negative 5. And so since you're writing the minus, you might as well write the plus and just know that that means positive 1. So again, here in this box, and remember that when you're multiplying, you have to multiply the number part and the variable part of your term. So negative 4x times positive 3x, our number part, negative 4 times positive 3 will give us negative 12, and then x times x is x squared. Okay, so negative 4x times 3x is negative 12x squared. We have to multiply the numbers and the variables. Over here we have negative 5 times 3x. So we have to multiply our number parts. So negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. A negative times a positive is a negative. And then we have nothing here times x. Well, we really have an x to the 0th power, right? But we can ignore that. And remember that when you're multiplying your variable terms, you're adding the exponents, okay? So down here we have negative 4x times 1. Anything times 1 is just itself. Marker's running out. And then in this bottom right-hand corner, we have negative 5 times positive 1, which is negative 5. The negative times a positive is still a negative. So now if we write all of these terms out in order, running out of marker, fantastic, minus 15x minus 4x minus 5. And we combine like terms, so we have a minus 5x and a minus 4x, I'm sorry, minus 15x minus 4x, negative 15x minus 4x is negative 19x, minus 5. We don't have any more like terms, so this is our simplified form. Right, and we always want to make sure that we write this in standard form from highest degree term to lowest degree term as well.